Hey everyone, I tagged Mike in this. He has no idea I'm doing this. And when he sees this, he's going to know why I tagged him because we just had a conversation this morning. I've been in meetings till now. I have 15 minutes to eat something and then I have to run off to more meetings for the rest of the day. Thankfully, my mom brought me some food, so I don't have to cook. Anyway, I wanted to hop on here because something monumental just happened. And Turning Point USA just announced that Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, is going to take over the organization. Why is this huge? I'm going to tell you why it's huge. And Mike's going to know why I tagged him in this, because you rest assured, Mike and I are going to do a podcast or something about this topic. Near and dear to my heart. I was going to make a post and I was like, let me just hop online really quick and share my thoughts. Over the last few days, obviously, there's been a lot of stuff being said, a lot of videos being shared, right? All these accusations against Charlie. He's a racist, a homophobe, all these things, right? Well, one of the things that's going around is how he's misogynistic. And I have to admit that there are things that Charlie has said in the context of relationship and stuff like that I'm just like, ooh, I don't know if I would go that far. And some of the things that he has said, or even him and Erika together, can come across as being a bit misogynistic, right? For example, when Taylor Swift got engaged, he made comments about how she needs to submit to Travis and blah, blah, blah. And all of us, a lot of people are like, dude, that word submit and all this stuff. Listen, if you are a Christian, let me just say this. If the word submit bothers you, then you need to take a kumbaya moment with God and ask yourself whether or not you believe in the Bible, because the Bible very clearly talks about submission, okay, period. And not just submission between, a woman to a man, but a man to a woman too. I think a marriage relationship, and this is why Mike's tagged in this, and this is why I want to have a conversation about it with him publicly, with you guys. Submission is mutual, okay? In the same book, Paul talks about how we need to submit to one another as a body. We're all, we all make up the body. He talks about how a woman needs to submit to a man. And there's reasons that was said, okay? So we can dive into that at a different time, and Mike and I we will dive into it and we will talk about it. So they've talked about this, and Charlie has talked about how he believes that a man should be able to provide for his wife so she doesn't have to work. And I was telling Mike, I was like, there's a lot of people who would have a problem with that statement, but it's very clear to me, it's always been clear to me, Charlie's not against women working because his wife has her own clothing line. Like, she's an entrepreneur. It's not like she's just home doing nothing. He wants to give his wife the freedom to do whatever she's called to do. And as someone who is in the midst of publishing a book about Proverbs 31, that's about the ideal woman, the virtuous woman, you see that this woman doesn't just stay at home and take care of her husband, her kids, and her household. She's also out there being an entrepreneur. And I'm talking really fast because I have to go to lunch and there's a lot of things that need to be squeezed in. But people hear these topics and they hear something, right? And then boom, we close off and we don't hear. And intention is so important. The heart behind something is so extremely important. What Charlie is trying to say, or what I feel like he was trying to say, was that the man should be there to take care of the woman in every way possible so the woman could stand up and be the leader that she's called to be. Not to stifle her, not to lock her up in the home. Clearly, this has been the case with them. And I think that them making her the head of this organization, it's very clear that Charlie had made this desire known. Like, they're doing this because this was his wishes. If he was a misogynist and he felt what people are saying he felt, this would not be happening. The torch would have been handed down to one of the males, which he has lots of strong males in his organization. Like, if there was one thing Charlie knew to do, was to pick out people, okay? He has very strong, intelligent people in his organization. But the desire was to have his wife lead this. And also Erica's pretty conservative and also has very, what people call old school, old fashioned views, which I have also moved into myself. But you have to understand the heart behind it and the reasons why. And you need to understand the distinction between male and female and how we were created. And as someone who has written a devotional and spent years and years and years studying Proverbs 31, believe it or not, 31 verses in this chapter 31, only 31. And I've dived in every possible way, which is why I wrote a devotional about it. I can tell you that it's possible to be old school and have those old school values while still rooting for women and empowering women to live their God-given image. Women don't need to be weak. Women don't need to be, slaves. Okay, this is a problem. We use words interchangeably. And when people think submit, they think slave. Those are not the same two words. Same thing with the word judgment. People hear the word judgment, they hear condemn. Those are not synonyms, and they can't be used the same, and they can't be used interchangeably. Submission doesn't mean slavery. It's actually an act of love. I submit to God every single day, and I will submit to my husband every single day, 100% voluntary. Why? Because I know that he loves me. And I know that he wants best for me. And I know that he's capable of doing things that I'm not capable of doing. His skill set is one. And you know what? My husband loves and trusts me enough to let me walk in the gifts and the callings that I have as a woman. He doesn't try to usurp my role as a woman to dominate and to control me. No, he doesn't. And that's not what we're talking about. And I have the feeling, just based on some of the clips that I've been seeing lately, that Erica and Charlie had a similar relationship that me and my husband have, which is one based on absolute mutual respect and honor for one another. A love that does not try to control, because there cannot be control in love. I let him be who he is. He lets me be who I am. We do not need to apologize for being who we are. We give each other counsel. We are very, very honest with each other. We don't hide our opinions. We know how to have conversation. We know how to disagree, but in complete honor and respect. My husband doesn't try to hold me back. I don't try to hold my husband back, because we understand that we are not the same person, yet we live our lives in a mutual agreement as to the goal in which we are running to. I know what my husband wants, and he knows what I want. And we have always been there to back up each other. But I submit to my husband, and he submits to me. And that's controversial, and we're going to talk about it because we need to explain it. This is how you have healthy relationships. I was in an extremely unhealthy relationship before, and now I'm in the complete opposite, and that's how I can know the difference. My husband and I have fought less than this, okay? In less than one hand. We have had like complete and utter disagreements where we got really mad, and we've been together now for 8 or 9 years as a couple. And the reason is because when you fight with someone where like it kind of gets nasty, it's because your ego's gotten in the way. I know that's the case for me. And this is why like people say, oh, if you don't fight as a couple, it means things are bad. No, it means that we have learned to communicate and we have mutual respect. Trust me when I say both Mike and I are extremely opinionated and extremely passionate. We don't hide that, but we value each other's differences. We value each other's opinions, and that makes a world of a difference. But in the end, I believe that like if Mike like puts his foot down about something, then I'm going to listen and I'm going to submit. That does not mean I'm his slave. Trust me, if you know me, I'm a slave to no man. No man. And I don't consider myself a slave to Christ because I voluntarily submit. I don't need to be a slave. I submit and I surrender because of love. It's just so powerful. So I wanted to share that because I personally thought that Charlie was a bit misogynistic because of some clips that I have heard. And I just talked about this with Mike this morning. We were having a whole conversation about it. And I was proved wrong. Charlie proved me wrong. He tells us to prove him wrong all the time. And here I am. He proved me wrong because if what I thought was true, Erika would not be leading Turning Point. And I am so freaking excited as a woman to see this strong, intelligent, compassionate, loving woman stand up and show us all what it is to be a strong woman who is loving and compassionate at the same time. I am excited for the future. It's been a few really sad days, but you guys know I'm a very hopeful person and I have a lot of hope for the future, and his death will not be in vain. And Erica Kirk is going to show us all what a godly woman looks like. Proverbs 31 being revealed through an iconic woman. Bye guys, I gotta go eat. I only have 5 minutes. Bye.